Hi and welcome to the channel. My name's James and I'm the paramedic publican. If you're new here, as the name suggests, I am a paramedic, though not in a frontline role anymore, and I'm also a publican as co-owner of the Big Six in Halifax. I've made some videos about my journey as a paramedic, and I've also introduced the Big Six Inn, so please do click on those if you want to find out a little bit more. Part of this channel is also about a midlife rewire, appreciating things as we get a little bit older, and in this video I was able to appreciate some fantastic new experiences as well as starting off on a very sad note. So I'm beginning this weekend in June, a baking hot weekend in June, down in a place called Sowerby Bridge, just outside Halifax. Part of my publican journey, which I'll maybe go into in another video, was in the mid-2000s. I found myself in Halifax and I ended up working at a fabulous new real ale venture called The Works down in Sowerby Bridge. At the time, the pub scene in Halifax was pretty dire, but just a couple of miles outside the town in Sowerby Bridge, a lady called Sara-Jo Cooper had a vision for a modern take on real ale and bought an old joiner's workshop and converted it into a fabulous real ale pub. It started a real ale revolution in Sowerby Bridge and in the wider area, and it was a busy place. I left there in 2007 to begin my paramedic training, but I learned so much in that time that it really put me in good stead for when many years later we took over the Big Six. But I was genuinely very sad to hear that she had passed away, very similar age to myself. There was a memorial down at the Works on one Friday in June, so I headed on the bus and headed down to Sowerby Bridge. It was good to see that it hadn't changed much. Certainly nowhere near as busy as it was, but it's still in safe hands. It's still doing fantastic real ale. There was a very moving memorial service upstairs in what was the function room. When I was there, it was still a work in progress, still a joiner's workshop, and it was great to see some of my former colleagues. We had a great afternoon. Sat outside in the sunshine enjoying some beers and having a good catch up after not seeing each other for many years. Bleary-eyed, the next day I had to get myself up and off and over to Leeds, because the second stage of this very busy week was to head to Headingley. I had been invited by a good friend to the first test match between England and India. Don't know anything about cricket, can't explain the rules, but when somebody's offering you the opportunity to go to something like that in corporate hospitality, I'm not going to turn it down. It's all about experiences and trying new things. Fabulous afternoon with great company who didn't really want to be on camera, so I will be maintaining their privacy. But again, plenty of beers, lots of sunshine, and a fabulous day with great company. But it didn't end there. The next day, off again, this time to France. And so to France, one of my favourite places in the world. I love France, always have done since first going there in about 1980 as a child on holiday. This was a really unique trip. A friend of mine, the same friend that invited me to the cricket, invited myself and a few others on a unique wine tour of Bordeaux. Now I know as much about wine as I do about cricket, but at least I can appreciate a really good glass of wine, and these were some of the best glasses of wine in the Bordeaux area. An absolutely fantastic trip. We flew down to Bordeaux and then headed for the first night to Chateau Marquis de Terme. We had a little cycle ride around the local countryside, a little guided tour before the first of many tastings and a lovely dinner that evening in the restaurant in the chateau. The second day we headed to Chateau Giscourt, where we were staying for 2 nights. However, before that we did have quite an adventure. A cycle ride had been booked for us, which we thought was just going to be a sort of a leisurely hour or two's cycle, but no, something had got lost in the communication, and this cycle ride turned out to be nearly 50 kilometres in sort of 28-degree heat, and after a lunch as well. We were really quite suffering by the time we got back to Chateau Giscourt, but we had to get washed and changed and endure another tasting and then another superb French dinner in the chateau, where we were looked after by their head of hospitality. Absolutely beautiful place. So we were there for 2 nights. Next day we headed from Giscourt to Lif, near Saint-Emilion, for another superb lunch in really quite spectacular setting. Sort of, it really seemed, you wouldn't really think of having a lunch in a brewery, but the setting of a lunch in the winemaking room at the chateau, it really was superb, and the food and the wine and the champagne were again absolutely fabulous. With a nice little red wine buzz on, after lunch we had a meander through the vineyards down into Saint-Emilion itself for an espresso pick-me-up in the afternoon, before heading down into Bordeaux itself, where we had a superb dinner at a really sort of genuine rustic French restaurant. I went for a cassoulet, which was just unbelievable, absolutely fantastic food, and then headed back to Chateau Giscourt for the evening. As if that wasn't enough, the final day really was just exquisite. We went to Chateau Pichon for a tasting and another superb lunch in quite exquisite surroundings, overlooking the surrounding vineyards. But there was no time to recover, because we then headed to our final destination, which was Cos d'Estournel, which was just immaculate. I don't think I've stayed in a place that exquisite. Absolutely superb accommodation. Another tasting, another tour, and then a final dinner, which really was the highlight of the trip. It was absolutely fantastic. A whistle-stop tour there of some of the finest vineyards in Bordeaux. An absolutely superb trip. Really lucky that I have a friend that has the resources to be able to do that. Most of these vineyards are not available to the general public for general tastings. It's they only offer very exclusive packages. So very lucky that I have a friend that is willing to spend the time and the resources taking his friends on that kind of trip. Absolutely superb, but part of getting to this stage in life is embracing new things, new experiences, and really enjoying life. And after foie gras every day for 5 days, I really did enjoy it. What a superb trip. So that's what I've been up to over the summer. That was the big highlight of the summer. If you got this far, thank you so much for watching. Please drop me a comment down below. Please think about giving it a like and a subscribe. And I will see you probably on more paramedic or publican related content very soon.